Welp, here we are, at the end of my Let's Play character chart series. Just in case you haven't noticed, Let's Play was never really my target webtoon. Heck, it isn't even my target genre. An ordinary, hardcore leveling warrior, I Am the Grim Reaper, heck even Lore Olympus, which is a romance webtoon, is more of a fantasy webtoon too. I started talking about Let's Play because of this. If you don't know what this is, 2 months ago I asked you guys for some of your favorite webtoons, and to leave your lists in the comments below. That way I would know what to cover or what I should start reading. To which you guys gave me 149 different webtoons and 393 votes. Unsurprisingly, Unordinary got 32 of those votes. The point of this character chart series is two purposes. 1. Talk about Let's Play, a great webtoon with interesting characters and engaging storyline. And 2. To broaden my and your horizons. To get people who are interested in a lot of things, not just action or fantasy. So if you're part of my channel because of Let's Play, welcome. And if you're part of my normal viewership, thank you for staying interested in other webtoons. And I'm glad to be finally talking about Sam Young. Sam has a weird hand in almost everyone's story, whether it be direct or not, so let's start chronologically. Sam was always a sick child. As she puts it, my mother was barely 5.5 months pregnant with me when she went into labor. The doctor said I had less than a 10% chance to survive. As a result of being so premature, my lungs weren't fully developed, and I had to live on life support for a really long time. Through most of my childhood, I was in and out of the hospital a lot due to complications. Seems like I spent more time there than in my own home. And we do get to see the consequence of that. I've talked about how her dad, Mr. Young, is probably the most overprotective father ever, imagining news broadcasts where he accidentally murders someone who was close to his daughter that one time. But he also completely restructures his business to help his daughter work there, moving it to the first floor and installing an expensive air conditioning unit. Which brings us to her work. Yes, she's part of Young Technologies, but her heart is in game development, especially indie development. And we hear this at the very start, when she states, "When I was little, I fell in love with gaming. The genre never mattered. The thought of playing as a hero or solving puzzles awed my young mind. In school, I worked diligently to create my first indie game. I spent countless hours on it." And we get to hear a more personal reason when she explains it to martial law. When she's talking about how much she's been sick and in the hospital, she says, "But it was there I learned just how much video games could help people who were suffering. As a result, I would love to create games in the hope of it helping someone going through what I had to, even if it put a simple smile on their face for only a moment. That's why I create games." And that's kind of a theme to Sam. Yes, her game design, but more her noble task of wanting to help others. I've discussed in both Link and Angela's video that Sam has helped them both. Link was going through his father's death when Sam acted as a beacon of hope to him. And Angela's wasn't as personal as that, but Sam helped her use her anger for justice, even if her justice isn't always perfect. Sam helps people realize the situation they're in, or helps them get out of it. But there's a bit of a problem with that. Sam helps out everyone. She wants to. She helps boost everyone up, whether it be them going through something emotional, whether it be their job on the line. Heck, even when someone trashed on years of hard work, she's still willing to help them out. Now, if you're thinking I'm going to call her soft, then you're mistaken. It's often the people who help out others the most that are in need of help themselves. To understand that, we need to know a little bit of Marshall's character. While I just covered him, Marshall Law is a gaming YouTuber with more than 3 million subs and casually destroys the game Sam worked very hard on. Now, Sam isn't that assertive. She typically doesn't even stand up for herself, as we get to see the metaphysical embodiment of confrontation constantly hold her back from doing things. Like telling Marshall that he's being too loud, which is relatable on both sides. However, it doesn't stop her from standing up when it matters. sticking up to Marshall multiple times when he trashes her game, sticking up for her friends or even her morals. Sam doesn't mind sticking up for what's important. However, that doesn't stop her from stepping up in weird ways sometimes. Like how she came very close to blackmailing Marshall by revealing he's dating Monica. Yeah, sometimes she might be a bit rude, but I think Sam does a great job of offering a great position for every reader. She's a great stand-in for just about everyone. Yes, because she's the main character, we get to see the most of her emotion and her perspective, but more importantly, she's human. And therefore, we get to see her struggles, how she deals with them, and more importantly, how she overcomes them. I've already discussed her issues on confrontation, but notice how that confrontation stops being such an issue. It pops up a lot in Season 1, but by Season 2, it's pretty much all gone. She once failed to get Marshall to shut up and struggled to stand up for her friends, but now she's willing to drop contractual mistakes like it's nothing. Something else about her is her insecurities. Sam cares what other people think of her. It's only natural to have the approval of other people, especially the people you care about. And we get to see that approval, or actually no approval, in the first episode, as her literal idol, the person who gave her comfort, drive, and motivation, accidentally sending basically his entire fanbase to attack her game. Even though we get to see that he kind of ruined her entire gaming career, because despite everything that's happened, I still find myself caring about your opinion. Sam is human. We pretend that we're above it all, above praise, above approval, but more often than not, we thrive on it. Sam is a testament to that. Her game is amazing, yet it's trash at the beginning of the series. However, while it saddens her, she pushes forward, eventually starting the new game. Remember that plot point? But speaking of her game, Ruminites, it can be kind of used as a representation for herself. The webtoon shows us a lot of how Sam doesn't see herself as special. She's the one who constantly compares herself to Vicky or Angela, and also considers herself less than special, believing she's not that great, not that talented, not that pretty. However, she learns to love herself. First from Charles when they go to dinner, we hear them talking about her future. At first, Charles believed that Sam wasn't a fit for the future of young technologies. However, I soon learned that you are one of the brightest, most intelligent people I've met. After finishing your assignment, you would assist others in their work, and as a result, you managed to gain experience working in every position of our team. And later that evening, when she thinks she would get in the way of an escape room, Charles responds with, "Nonsense, Miss Young. You're a highly intelligent person. I'm sure you'll perform wonderfully." And we get to see her confidence inflate from a malnourished emo-kun to someone that could lift Sam higher. However, it doesn't always stay high. While Link are doing this weird romantic dance thing, Link abruptly ends their relationship, believing that his attraction was more of a family-like kinship rather than a romantic one. She then again falls into believing that she's nothing special, especially with her physical appearance. Charles yet again boosts her up, but he's not the only one to. Monica helps her realize who she can be. Marshall's playthrough also helps her realize that she's talented and imaginative. But let's talk about that game, shall we? Ruminites, Sam's first indie game, has some fun little details. Now, I missed out on talking about Marshall's playthrough in his video, but I did talk about Charles's playthrough, and Vicky's appearance. Now, most of the characters that appear in the webtoon also appear in the game. Vicky is a kind witch, Angela is a knight, Link is a prince, Sam's mother and father are royalty, so on and so forth. But notice what Sam is. Yes, she's a princess, since her parents are royalty. But she's also a ghost. She's dead and has been dead for some time. Now, that can mean any number of things, from the dark to the more reasonable. Here's what I think. Sam has spent most of her life in the hospital. She spent a lot of her childhood playing games, making games, or just being sick. She spent most of her life in the background, hidden away, alone. She spent most of her life like a ghost, invisible, unnoticed, watching from the sidelines, but never really fully at peace with herself, or the world. which is why she's still a ghost in the game. Why she watches adventurers, travelers, and tales of wonder and amazement. She watches others live their life, having fun, saving the day, getting in or out of trouble. Maybe because it's fascinating to her. Like she said at the beginning, she's in awe of that idea of heroes and solving puzzles. Or maybe it's because she never got a chance to do it. Maybe because she always wanted to do it. But Ruminite has an end, apparently multiple ends. But we only get to see 2. In Charles's playthrough, he manages to revive the princess, but denies the option of marrying her, which results in the princess killing herself. I've already explained what I thought this meant, but let me do this more fleshed out, I guess. Charles is going to, or has, reawakened something in Sam. He revived the dead princess. In the story, he has boosted Sam up. He's boosted her ego. He's boosted her self-worth. But he would likely choose not to fully commit to Sam, which isn't going to cause her to kill herself, but likely to be painful for Sam. We see at the end of Season 2 that Charles is in a situation that he might not want to be in. Not because he doesn't like it, but because he's losing that control. He likes control in his life, and will likely push Sam away because of it. Meanwhile, Marshall's playthrough didn't end in him reviving the princess, but instead, he brought her to peace. He managed to show her respect after her death, which is also what Marshall did. He showed Sam respect after destroying her game. But what does that mean for Sam? While I don't typically speculate in these videos, I want to now. Sam will grow stronger. Not without pain, not without suffering, but she will become better, more assertive, more confident, more because of that pain, because of the suffering she goes through. Sam is the perfect spot for a reader to be in. She goes through personal struggles, but still manages to become someone better. I've talked in depth on why I love flawed heroes, because it's better to see someone go from bad to slightly better than from good to great. The same thing here. It's not that interesting watching a main character who's already perfect, who doesn't have any struggles or any flaws, become even more perfect. It's more interesting to watch someone with insecurities, with those struggles, with those pains, those doubts in their mind, learn to live without some of them. Sure, she's still gonna have some doubts with her. She's still gonna have insecurities on her. But she's learning to move on past them. She's learning to grow on without them, which I think, for us, is incredibly interesting and inspiring. Because it means we get to see someone go through those struggles. It means we get to see someone push past her worries, her doubts, her fears, her insecurities, and it inspires us to do the same. It inspires us to go past those insecurities. It inspires us to become better than who we are right now. For those reasons and others, I'm putting Sam into lawful neutral. Someone who typically just follows orders, but is still willing to stand up for her beliefs. And there we have it. The ends of the Let's Play character chart series. While I've enjoyed this, I'm very excited to talk about other Webtoons again. So if you have a specific question or video idea in mind, leave it in the comments. I always love reading what you guys have to say. But like always, thank you for watching. Because it means that we... Hi, lawnmower. How y'all doing? If you're watching this, I'm in the middle of my ending bit. And, there's a lawnmower outside. Just kind of sitting here waiting. How y'all doing? This is gonna go at the end, I guess, because I have nothing better to put at the end. You guys really like unordinary? Leave in the comments what unordinary topics you want. Wow, is he still here? Yep, he's coming back around. I have next week's video kind of planned, but not really, not enough. And I can always do something else if you guys want me to talk about something else. When I say leave a topic in the comments below, like I mean it. Like I want to hear what you guys want me to say.